6:52 time for the morning sprint.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Ukraine, where a Russian attack on the country is now underway. President Biden expected to speak later today about the night's events. Explosions are being heard in the Ukrainian cities of Kiev and Kharkiv right now, where it's just about noon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pleaded for peace in a late-night address and said he tried to call Vladimir Putin, but was met with silence. Coming up on CBS Mornings, America's former ambassador to Ukraine joins the team coverage to talk about what's at stake and what the U.S. response could look like. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes.
A Genoa City man facing multiple charges this morning after police say he robbed a convenience store. Police say a 28-year-old man entered the Janesville store with a shotgun just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Police say he threatened an employee and demanded money before taking off. Police eventually caught him and arrested him. He's currently being held in the Rock County Jail.
Wisconsin's DNR is setting a statewide standard for surface and drinking water. State recommendations previously said drinking water with more than 20 parts per trillion of PFAS would become unsafe to drink. The board instead choosing to listen to a 2016 recommendation from the EPA, setting the PPT cap at 70. No standard was set for underground water.
A bill that would require third-party delivery services to remove a restaurant from its digital network within 3 days if the restaurant requests it is on its way to the Senate. The use of delivery apps like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash exploded during the pandemic, but restaurant owners told lawmakers that these services often lead to headaches for them because customers get upset about late food, cold food, or orders placed for items that weren't available. The Assembly passed the bill with no debate.
Suing a gun manufacturer could become nearly impossible in Wisconsin under a bill that just cleared the state assembly yesterday. It comes just days after families of 9 Sandy Hook victims reached a massive historic settlement against Remington, the manufacturer of the AR-15 used in the massacre. 35 other states have similar laws already on the books. But if it's approved by the state Senate, Governor Evers is likely to veto it.
Prices at the pump are rising, and the Ukrainian crisis should keep that going. The national average for a gallon of gas right now is $3.53. AAA says Russia trails only the U.S. and Saudi Arabia in oil production, so that move could cause gas prices to increase globally.
We haven't pumped leaded gas into our cars for decades, but it is still used in some airplanes. The FAA wants to change that. It says it's working to replace those fuels by 2030. Right now, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association is against phasing out the fuel until alternatives are more widely available.
In North Carolina, the city of Hickory has released video of the collapse of the 2 arches over the pedestrian bridge. They went down in the early morning hours of February 18th. They were made of Douglas fir and spanned 178 feet and were 60 feet tall. They cost more than $750,000 to put up. Some of the debris hit a vehicle below. No one was hurt, though. Inspection teams are still trying to figure out what caused them to collapse. The Godfather is coming back to theaters for a special 50th anniversary release. The remastered film arrives at AMC theaters in international territories Friday. Paramount's also releasing all 3 films in the epic trilogy on 4K Ultra HD for the first time on March 22nd.
The trackets of lake effect snow this morning. That's now moving all the way into parts of central Wisconsin as well. This is Janesville. This is where we have seen some of that snow this morning. It's also been impacting places like Jefferson and Lake Mills, and now we're starting to see some of those flakes right here in Madison. The Beltline at Fish Hatchery, though, all smooth, and it's going to stay smooth as we go throughout the morning. It's the evening commute, though. That's the one that I'm watching, because as we get towards the evening commute, friends, that is when the snow begins to come down and things are going to start turning rather slick for us. Look at this. Moderate impacts are expected all evening long until things begin to wind down tomorrow morning. That snow arrives overnight tonight. Look for 2 to 3 inches.
Thank you, Chris. Stay with us for the latest on Ukraine right after the break.